Hey everyone, it's Dick here. In this video, I speak to Trenton Lane from Lane's Yamaha in Watkins Glen, New York. Trenton was a huge help in rescuing my bikes from the rubble of my barn fire back in September. He was an FC6 owner, same year and color as mine. When I met up with him this summer, he took some time to talk to me about his Speedway bikes and his racing. Speedway is a motorcycle race with 4 to 6 riders racing counterclockwise on an oval, dirt, shale, or a crushed stone track in 4-lap races. Dating back to the 1930s, Speedway is most popular in Europe with lots of champion riders and frames and bike parts coming out of Poland. Denmark, Sweden, and the UK are other major players in Speedway, supporting leagues and robust schedules of races between March and October. Speedway bikes have no brakes. The clutch is simply the catapult to get the bike going from a dead start. Among other do's and don'ts, bikes have to weigh less than 77 kilograms dry. They must be powered by a 4-stroke, single-cylinder, single-carbed, single-sparked engine. They must have fitted an approved silencer and run on pure methanol. I always love hearing about new branches on the motorcycling family tree, and I love talking to people who are passionate about what they do. Trenton is one of the few speed demons in the northeast of the United States, crazy and passionate enough to give Speedway a go. It was a real pleasure to learn from him, and perhaps one day he'll let me ride one of these monsters.
The motors in 2019, that was all redone this winter. There's new, like say, new valves, everything redone. It's got a Selectra ignition in it, which is what a lot of guys use. The frame is a same year, it's a 19. I got it shipped from Poland because you can tell the wheels how they get a bunch of stone dust over there, and they use like a shale, and it really beats everything up. You can see it on the side of the cases.
Ah, I see, yeah.
That's amazing. Over here, stuff will look like new forever. It's amazing.
So do you race in dirt here? There's no rocks or shale or whatever.
So there is. It's a stone dust, but it's not a shale.
Okay.
It's a lot finer.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really dig in like that stuff, and we're not going as fast, so we don't get as much roost.
Okay.
All a Jawa frame. There's a couple different. There's a Stuha and a Jawa frame.
Okay.
But this is all a Jawa.
And then the exhaust that's a 2017 exhaust.
Yeah, it's FIM 17.
Okay.
Yep. We do some little things like safety wire this or zip tie this so this plug can't come out.
Yeah.
So if you ever get into some deep dirt or anything and it pulls that,
it doesn't pull the whole thing
off.
It's like those brake snakes that you put on like enduro bikes or whatever.
Yep. Like I say, it's all big and adjusting the clutch and all that is a huge thing because we're only 4-lap races.
So are they rolling starts or are they
nope,
dead
start.
Dead starts?
So you're dead start, wide open, you let the clutch out and hope you get it spinning in the right temperature. Sometimes it'll wheelie up on you.
Yeah.
So you gotta be holding down and way forward.
It'll wheelie up even with the length and that huge front tires?
Yeah,
Really?
you gotta be right over,
right
over the top
over it.
of the wheel.
Yeah.
And even sometimes you'll see guys, more like the inexperienced guys, they'll wheel them right over backwards off the start. No suspension really. They got some rubber bands.
Little rubber bands. I was gonna say that over.
Put zip ties on them, and depending on where the zip tie is, that'll kind of change ride height and stiffness.
So this isn't dampening?
So this is for the rebound.
Okay.
So it doesn't snap back to the rubber band. So it kind of allows it to work more.
Yeah, it's linkage.
Freely.
Yeah.
But that's all. The rear wheels, you can run them either way. You can flip them. Then every couple races we get flip the wheel because they'll start to pull the valve stem one way or the other.
I was going to say they pull the valve stem.
Yep, if you're not careful.
So you run these loose, right? That runs a little loose, yeah.
Yeah, that nut'll. Yep.
So instead of actually adjusting the tube in the frame, you're just flipping the wheel.
Flip the wheel, and then you run it a couple races, and it'll come back straight. Then it'll go back the other way, and you flip it, and
That's awesome.
So and it wears the tire a lot more even.
Yeah.
Like say every week you pull the car apart, pull the clutch apart, and grease it
So
all.
why is your lever zip tied?
So they use one of these, so when you're rolling it and stuff, you can spin it. You let it out, and it's engaged.
So there's no neutral.
Nope.
Okay.
It's just a direct drive.
Okay.
And it's a lot harder surface here. Over there, it's a lot loamier. So they got that more grip, and it throws that much more back.
All right.
So it's very uncommon here to have that. It's usually pretty like glass.
Okay.
Which slows the speed down a little bit. They make you use a tether, and we test them all the time. We pull them apart. We use the slides here.
So that's a kill switch essentially.
Yep.
Okay.
Usually you can pull the clutch in and kind of coast it to a stop. Then the oil level gauge is pretty cool. This is where you check your oil level. You get it just above the bolt there usually. But yep, that's that. And then the ignition's behind here. And we only use 2 bolts. Makes it quicker to adjust.
All right.
Because you do adjust that once in a while based on track conditions. And they use a spec tire pretty much. Most everybody uses the Midas
Okay.
SW. In Europe, they can't use these; they're too soft. They got a ton more of the lines here. See how there are all these sipes in there?
Yeah.
There's about half as many. I got one inside, but there's like half as many.
On the European
stiffer.
tires.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they don't allow them to use this soft of a compound. I know, like in the British leagues, they actually have a British league tire.
Oh, okay.
They all have to use the same rim. And like, there's like 1 or 2 fronts. And they're just coming out with some analyst tires I haven't used yet, but they look pretty sweet. All these sipes are in there, so they can spread out a lot.
Yeah.
So now you know what this looks like. I got one of the European ones over here.
Okay.
It's like this tire.
Oh, all right.
So there's a lot less sipes, a lot stiffer.
Yeah.
The carcasses are very soft.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. That's what most of Europe uses.
SW07s.
Yep, well, they're SW05.
Yeah. And they won't let you use those, the 05s.
No, I don't think you can even get them in Europe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's cool.
cool. And that one's got lots of life. And you can feel how you can flip the wheel, so you run your hand this way.
Yeah.
It's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
I run it the other way.
Oh, holy crap.
Really grippy.
That's really grippy.
Yep.
So you would
still got lots of life.
You would flip that the other way.
It'd still work the other way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's got lots of life left.
Yeah.
So I just changed to the softer compound. And that's the tough thing with Speedway. You gotta move your body weight all the time.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah, it's like the seat is actually a misnomer
The
because you
seat's
hardly
like
ever.
right about here.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't
You're,
really use
you're
it.
probably never
No,
on
in
it.
Europe they do.
Yeah.
Going down the streets, they lean way back and they.
All right.
they'll
Unweight
really
the,
come out.
unweight the front wheels to get. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, come on, like, that'll be cool one of these days.
When you gauge the age of the engine or the use of the engine, is it per hour? Is it like an hour situation or mileage or per race?
The
Per
amount of
race.
races,
Okay.
yeah. Around here, it's like once a year we rebuild them.
Okay.
Overseas, they race a lot more.
Yeah.
They race throughout the week. Around like every 14 races, they rebuild
They'll
them.
rebuild the engine.
Yep. Most of the guys have multiple motors.
Yeah.
So just switch motors, send one out, and have it rebuilt.
And what's the lifetime of a motor if you rebuild it religiously?
They last a long time.
They'll last a long time.
Like that one I got out back there, the practice bike. That's from the 90s.
Okay.
It's like a 98. So I mean, they last quite a long time.
And what was the gear ratio on this? You said it was like 65, 12 or something?
65, and they're at 12 too. So in Europe, they use like 40s.
Okay.
Because the tracks are bigger. Behind the clutch, this sprocket's pretty standard. Most everybody uses a 44 tooth.
Okay.
So there's really only like 1 or 2. There's a sprocket behind here that goes right to the from the crank to the sprocket.
Okay.
To the clutch there. And this one's got some aluminum clutch plates. They call them an HL plate.
Okay.
They're all aluminum with little pads in them. And they use great big wheel weights to offset the rim locks.
What's the average or top speed that you do in a race? Four lap race, like second, third, and fourth lap. How fast are you going?
So around here, the tracks are small, so they're like 55, 60. In Europe, they're like 80, 90, over 100.
Still.
Going down the straights, they're over 100, but they're averaging,
Yeah.
85, 90 miles an hour.
Wow. Methanol.
Yep, straight methanol. And there's only, that's the gas fuel tank. Just a little.
Will that's enough for 4 laps, or is that enough for some warm up? And how far?
We fill them every race.
Okay.
They get down quite a bit.
Yeah.
They have leagues in Europe. Here they just have, there's only like 2 tracks on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So we do Division 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
On Division 1's the top guys, and Division 2 is more your intermediates, then your beginners in Division 3. We try to average 16 a night.
Okay.
And that's pretty common to get.
Okay.
Like it's
And
not
you doing
big
heats, or
here.
you all racing together?
I'll start all together. It's 4-person heats.
Okay.
So every 4 riders for a race.
Yep.
There's no practice. You're right into racing. So it's interesting.
Is it a steel frame?
They're chromoly.
Chromoly. Okay. So there's some flex in them.
A little.
Yeah.
These ones are very rigid.
Because
in
of
Europe,
the straight.
right?
And that huge gusset there.
Exactly.
But you were saying that curved one, that's probably more forgiving.
Yeah, it's almost like suspension a little bit.
Yeah.
But like in Europe, their tracks are so much bigger. You almost want the more rigidity.
Yeah. So, but they don't make alloy. They don't make aluminum frames or anything.
No, they're all pretty standard. Because
Okay.
they're a 3-piece frame. You can bend them pretty
I was
quick.
gonna say, if you crash them, you can bend them.
Right.
Yeah. I just love the minimal
Yeah.
peg there, and this monster here.
You use it when you ride them. I mean, you ride hooked into this one on the outside and kind of. Most Speedway riders have a ball on the end of their foot.
Okay.
You know, it's pretty cool. But you ride like this.
Way out there.
Way up here. And if you come back, it like hooks.
And that foot's out.
This foot, most of the time it's here, and you can
Okay.
weight it, and you wear a steel shoe.
Yeah.
You weight that to
Yep.
move the bike.
Yeah.
So you can pull it straighter.
Okay.
Lay it in a little more. Once you get the right spot, you pick your foot up, and
All right.
then you run a line over.
That's funny. I didn't know that was
that big.
that was hinged. I thought that was fit. I thought that was fixed.
These ones, the new guys, they have a spring.
Yeah.
And that makes a huge difference. I know my old one, I break these bolts off all the time because it hooks into the dirt once in a while. It doesn't have the spring-like start, so it can pull you.
Yeah.
If you aren't careful.
Okay.
We do use I don't have it on there right now. We have an inner tube we cut. We tie it around the frame to hold that up instead of having the spring.
Yeah.
Because it's older and it doesn't have the right foot peg.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they make different length foot pegs and they make quite a few different pieces there.
Yeah.
But that seems to be one that works the best for my little foot. They're smooth throttle.
I was gonna say that's awesome.
And it snaps back to snap the slide closed. You know, shut it off.
Yeah.
Some little things we do, like these little connectors here for your tether. If you ever break a tether,
all right.
Just disconnect it and have another one.
Have another one.
Oh,
okay.
This is kind of a wild front end. It's actually right now it's centered.
Yep.
But if you flip this little piece and loosen the bottom, you can offset the front end a little bit to change how it reacts.
All right.
Yeah, little stuff, but once in a while it makes a difference and you need it. Like this is made out of a coffee can. To protect all there's a little nipple here for the gas fitting.
Yeah.
Protect all that using just a coffee can, some zip ties, and a drill bit.
If you like that video and you want to see more like them, hit like, share, and subscribe.